Before we got on the ferry back to Italy, we had our last supper in Albania.
Which was a betrayal.
Plus, we make another trip through customs.
Holly gets a spa day, and we get a bed and breakfast.
Stay with us for our second set of adventures in Italy. 2 empty nesters and 1 brave dog. We're Casey, Rodney, and Salsa. Currently, we're traveling through Europe, navigating the Schengen Shuffle in our motorhome, Holly. We are sharing real travel life highs and the happy detours along the way. Please hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, make sure you bookmark our webpage, and follow us on Facebook at Empty Nest Adventures TV. Welcome back to another Empty Nest Adventures
TV.
And if you left off with the last one, you knew we were close to Vlorë.
Yep.
So we made the short trip. I think it was about 30 or 45 minutes to get down to Vlorë, where the port was.
Yes.
And it's another ferry that was going overnight, so we didn't have to rush down there to be down there in the morning or anything else. We got there kind of like in the middle of the afternoon.
Yep.
Unlike the port in Bari, there was no large parking lot.
Yeah, there's no waiting like a queue parking lot that you can park at and wait for your ferry time.
Yeah.
You can't go in until it's your time.
Yeah. So we found a place along the street.
Yep.
Where they were parking on both sides of the street.
Yeah. And we
were there for probably, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half or something like that. And there were several trucks going up and down the road. It was very tight for them to get through there.
It was very close. You had parking on both sides and one very tight lane, and tractor trailers were going through to the port. Yeah. To the port entrance. Yeah. So they were taking that road, and it was just tight.
Yes.
And then a very nice police officer.
Yeah, somebody probably complained. That's why the police showed up and asked us to move.
It wasn't just us. There was
everybody. There was a whole row of cars
on that side.
Yeah.
We could park on the other side of the road, but not this side. And of course, there were no parking spaces directly on that side at first.
Until we make a couple laps around the block, and then we finally the spot big enough for Holly opened up.
Yes.
It was in front of one of this guy's restaurant. I don't know if he was very happy about us blocking the view to his restaurant, but
he was very nice. He smiled and he laughed at the dog.
So, but one of the things was that where we were parked and where the ferry was, after we got our tickets, we just stayed in that spot. Mm-hmm.
And we were going to eat dinner there.
Yes, because there was a KFC nearby.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes, so we thought we would have a little bit of America and Albania on our way to Italy.
No.
Yeah, so, well, first the thing was that because we were outside of that restaurant, there was about 4 or 5 guys that were probably in their 20s or so.
Yeah.
That kind of gathered out on the sidewalk, and they were talking and everything, and I was a little worried about coming out of the camper. Well, before I went, I took Salsa for a walk, and we roll out of there, and Salsa jumps up and looks at him, and like half of them are just like, "Oh, look at that dog," So it's like
she brings that out in people. She's just so
it's just and it's the Albanian people. They're just very, very friendly and very nice. So we got the KFC. I brought it back, she had her order ready, which was the traditional KFC in United States order.
Crispy chicken. You get a bucket of crispy chicken, coleslaw. I wanted Kentucky Fried Chicken, coleslaw, and regular crispy chicken.
Crispy chicken? Not happening.
Nope.
Coleslaw?
Not
happening. So we got a bucket that had some hot wings, some chicken tenders,
strips,
and a couple of drumsticks in it. That was the closest we could get. Yeah. They did have those little cheesy spinach bites that were pretty good.
Yeah, they had these little round cheese. They're fried, but they were delicious.
Yes.
They were really good, because even the French fries were disappointing.
Yeah. We had some really good French fries in Albania, though. So
lots of really good French fries.
The bar was set pretty high, and we didn't have any tzatziki sauce to dip them in either, so that was probably part of the problem. So, we were passing the time, and what was it, like 8 o'clock that we could get in line for the ferry, because it left at 11 rather than 10 o'clock, because it was a little bit shorter trip than the last trip we went on.
Because we weren't going to to Bari.
We're going to Brindisi.
Yes, we
so it was
decided
a little shorter trip.
When we came over, we went Bari, Italy to Durrës, Albania. This time we're going from Vlorë, Albania to Brindisi, Italy.
Yes.
So it's a little further south.
And both the towns, Vlorë smaller than Durrës and Brindisi smaller than Bari, so it was a lot less crowded. There weren't as many vehicles on the ferry as it was when we came from Bari.
If you're going to take that ferry back and forth, I recommend Vlorë to Brindisi, just because it was smaller, it wasn't as crowded, and it just getting on the boat and getting off the boat were just so easy.
Pretty easy.
It just was so easy.
Going through Albanian customs and getting all that stuff set up and doing it. And so once we got on the boat, we got up, we got a room again.
Yes.
So we could sleep overnight.
Another 4-person prison room.
And she did a little tour of that, so we'll show that video now.
Yes, we'll show the video.
Yep.
Come down here for our ferry back to Italy. We're in room 718. Open it up. This is it. It's got a little desk with a stool, 4 bunks, a Rodney, and a bathroom. Kind of teeny tiny.
We woke up the next morning and we were pulling into Italy.
Yep.
Into Brindisi. Got up early again for us anyway, because the boat pulled into and one of the things we were expecting is the European Union is currently rolling out a new system for the visas and visiting and so forth. And as part of that system, they have to do your fingerprints and do a facial
recognition.
Yeah,
there we
recognition
go. Facial
picture.
recognition and your fingerprints.
Yeah, so we were all ready for that.
Yeah, we were ready.
And we've been ready for something to be a hang up with Salsa and her paperwork. So we always make sure
we've got all that paperwork.
We got all that paperwork. And so we got off the ferry, and it was the typical free for all, getting off the ferry as usual.
But it wasn't as bad because it wasn't as crowded.
It wasn't as crowded. People seemed like it wasn't going to take very long, so they didn't seem like they were in pretty much of a rush. And so we pulled up to the customs checkpoint.
Yep.
No fingerprinting.
Nope.
No facial recognition. So that port is not rolled out that system there yet. I think they're concentrating more on airports and stuff.
They swipe your passport.
Yep. Looked at our passport. Smiled at Salsa. Never asked for paperwork.
Nope.
or anything like that, and then waved us on through.
Yep.
And so our first little stop in Brindisi, we didn't go very far.
Nope.
Probably 2 or 3 kilometers, and we stopped at a little camp store, kind of a dealership repair shop that was there, because we could not find a place to buy Cousin Eddie's favorite drink in Albania, the chemical for the toilet.
Yes.
So that was our first stop. Was we got there, they only had 1 bottle, so we got that. And then we went to a camp that's actually called Camping Brindisi.
Yep.
We had to wait at the gate for him to come out and open the gate. And this is kind of a camping place that I don't think knows its identity yet.
Yeah.
Because I would almost look at it's kind of like a farm camp, but Italy also has these like ecological camps, I guess you could call them, or something like that. So, and that's kind of what this kind of was. It was very small.
Very small.
We were the only ones there at first, and then some other people showed up and just spent one night and left. We stayed there.
We stayed 2 nights.
We stayed a couple of nights because we were, from the ferry and all the other things. We just
trying to arrange to have Holly go to the mechanics to get some things done.
Yeah, to get that, and we had to wait through the weekend for that anyway. So because it was going to be Monday, and we were there like on a Friday. So, but the one thing we did was we went back to the American food again because we went into town to do some shopping, and there was a McDonald's there. So
yes. Now we tried McDonald's in the Netherlands.
yes.
Really, there are a few Kentucky Fried Chickens here and there that we've seen in 6 months.
Yes.
Just a few here and there.
Including the KFC casino in Germany.
In Germany. But McDonald's is in each country. However, it's not like in the U.S. where every other block is a McDonald's.
Yes, yeah.
They're kind of few and far between.
There wasn't any in Albania.
Yes, there was a McDonald's.
Was there a McDonald's?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yes, there was in Tirana.
Okay.
But we aren't huge McDonald people anyway.
No,
but after kind of the disappointment of KFC, we thought we'd give McDonald's a try.
Yes. And we're not that much more impressed.
Well, I got a fish fillet sandwich. I usually like a fish fillet and some French fries, and they had it was okay.
Yep.
It wasn't.
So, and at the campground, we of course encountered rain.
Yeah.
Apparently, it followed us a little bit.
But it wasn't bad rain.
And we got some great rainbows.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Beautiful
on that. So,
rainbow.
because we were kind of joking as we were driving toward the camp that we had returned to the land of olive trees and solar panels.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much everything that was growing out there, except we did notice there was a couple of the tractors driving with their front scoops fully loaded, and we couldn't figure out what it was until we followed one.
Figure out what it was.
But it was apparently artichokes season. Yeah.
And I've never seen what an artichoke plant looks like, and they had these fields of this weird-looking plant. If you've never seen an artichoke plant, they're very interesting.
Yep.
And then I looked closer and I could see the artichokes on them. So that was kind of cool.
So after that, we decided, well, we'll go ahead and head up to where we're going to get Holly's service done. Even though it was still the weekend, but we thought, well, we'll have Sunday. And we parked in a parking lot near the town of Ostuni.
Yes.
Actually kind of right on the edge of it.
It's called the White City.
The White City, yeah. Very beautiful city.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
One of the reasons we went early was because there was a laundromat right across the street so we could get laundry done. And you made kind of a friend there while you were there.
It was so convenient because it's, again, right across the street from where you park. And they had dryers.
Yes.
Washer and dryer. And if you have a dog, or we have a doodle, she doesn't shed, but you get fuzzies, the fuzzies. And when you wash your clothes and you hang them to dry, the fuzzies don't always come out.
Yep.
So you end up with fuzzies in your coffee, floating in the top of your coffee, or something like that. So having a dryer sucks it all up and puts it on a lint.
All right, so we got the laundry done. We got everything done that we were doing Sunday.
Yep.
We were actually kind of surprised because we had like up to 4 other campers parked there with us. So it was a very popular.
We've been alone.
Yeah, we've been alone a lot.
3 or 4 months now.
Yes.
We've been the only camper we see.
Yep.
And now we're starting to see, driving traffic. There's more campers.
Yep. So Monday morning we went down, and it was only 2 or 3 kilometers to get down to Mondo Camping, which I guess is camping mania from what I've seen in the translation or their literature and stuff is what that means. And it's just a little repair shop and supply shop.
Yep.
And the guy didn't speak very much English, so we used Google Translate a lot to get back and forth on what we needed to do.
Yes.
Some of the major things was we've got 2 skylights in our camper. One is back over the bed that's a smaller one, and it was a hand crank, and the hand crank wasn't working anymore. No. So we decided to go ahead and get that replaced.
Because in the summer, having both open, you don't have to have any of the windows open. So if we leave the dog in the camper for something, there's airflow that goes back and forth between them really
and then
well.
they also switched out our faucet.
Yes,
kitchen
kitchen faucet. Yay!
So
it works.
We have a kitchen faucet that works now. Oh my gosh.
Thank God.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was that big of a pain, but maybe I was just getting used to it. So, and then he took it to another place because they don't do it there, and did the oil change and just checked over everything on it. So
but while they were doing that.
Yeah. So and one of the things is that with the top vent, there's a sealant, obviously that's put around to keep the water out.
Yes.
And he was a little concerned with the rain that was going on and off, and having that sealant set. And I suggested, would it be okay if we just left it overnight for that to dry, which he was agreeable to. So as soon as I gave you the message, you were hot on.
I was hot on looking for a B&B.
Yes.
To stay up in Ostuni. It was beautiful up there. It's an old town.
Yeah.
And I was looking for something with a bathtub to soak in and a nice shower.
Yeah, and you found a whirlpool tub.
Yes, I found a whirlpool tub.
So here's our room while Holly is getting her spa treatment and getting fixed up. Got a bed. Got a bathroom with glass walls for some reason. I wouldn't mind it on the shower, but the other areas are a little personal. And then, of course, someone sprang for this. But it is obviously in a neat, old kind of building.
We're in the old town.
Seen a lot of ceilings like this when you... And we also thought it would be great, too, because just down the street, not very far, was a park.
Oh, yeah. It'd be great to play with the dog. We've not been able to play ball with her at the last several places that we've been, so it's good to get out and throw the ball for her. But...
the park was closed for construction.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the fences were locked up. So
we found a place where we got some like little pizzas or whatever that I brought back that we had for dinner. So
and they brought us. We ordered from the restaurant. Now the thing about this B&B, it's run out of a restaurant. They have a restaurant there, which was a very nice restaurant. We had breakfast in the morning. So you go and you check into there. Our room was at least a block away.
Yeah, it was a little bit of distance. And they had like several different rooms because we could see their name on different little apartments or whatever around the area.
And it's not just all in one building. It's like scattered throughout this area.
Yep.
So it was kind of neat. But it's all they've refurbished some of the old buildings. And when I say old, I mean really old.
Yeah. And they could work on their mattress.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of big improvement from the one in the camper with Holly. So So we went down.
The bath was nice.
We got Holly back, all fixed up and ready to go. And so we were going to start heading toward the toe of Italy, so we can take the ferry over to Sicily. Our first stop was a parking spot that was actually kind of like, I would call it a mall. Yeah, it was a big mall. It had an overflow parking lot that
and we needed
was on Park for
groceries,
night.
And it has a big grocery store in it. And
and the funny thing is that we were sitting there and we were kind of off by ourselves at first. The first camper that comes up and parks, first of all, parked right behind us.
Really close behind us.
And then we realized that it was the same camper that was parked 2 campers over from us in Ostuni.
Yes.
So we thought we had some stalkers or something. I don't know what was going on. But they left before us, so
but
we haven't seen them.
Even in this mall parking lot, we weren't the only campers.
Yeah,
there was 3 others that were there that night too. So we're starting to get around more people.
Yep.
We kind of like it.
So we did our shopping in the morning, and then we hit on the road. And in Albania, because we didn't have a long way to go, we usually when we traveled, it was less than an hour when we were going someplace.
We were taking short trips.
So we kind of got into that law of short trips. So we wanted to make up some more time getting across Italy. So we kind of structured our trip where we would drive for an hour, we'd have lunch, and then we would drive for another hour. And that kind of gives us our 3 hours on the road and trying to get to a place before 3 o'clock.
Yep.
Which there's that 3-3-3 rule. If you're not familiar with that, you can see that. But
it works for us. We started the 3-3-3 rule when we did a trip from North Carolina up to Maine.
Yes.
That's when we kind of tried
so we had
out.
a stop where we pulled over and we had lunch.
Yep.
And then we continued on and we went to this place that was called Caravan Park. And another gate in the way. We had to wait for the guy to come and open the gate. It was a nice little campground, and it was not very far from the beach that was there. Had electric and water and all the facilities that we needed. The the guy that Franco, who was the host, was German Italian. German Italian. So couldn't tell what language we were actually supposed to speak to him. But so that was a pleasant night. We had one other group there.
Camper there.
One other camper that was there with us. It was kind of weird because it was like a camper van, but God, it was as big as Holly was. So
yeah.
Pretty good, pretty large camper. So the next day we did the same thing. So we drove for an hour, and then we pulled off. And this is going to be kind of a two-stop or 2-item trip because we stopped for lunch.
Yep.
And I was also going to get some more diesel for Holly. We were getting to the point where we wanted to refill. And when we pulled in, we saw this panini shop that was there.
Yeah.
And we haven't had paninis while we were in
haven't
Italy.
tried panini.
So we thought, we got to do it.
Yeah.
So we went in, we bought a couple paninis, and oh, God, they were
my
fantastic.
God, they were so good.
Yeah. Italian gas station food is not what you think it is. So
yeah, we'll be doing that again.
Yes.
It was very good.
Yeah. So we went on another hour down the road, and it was another place. It was very similar where we stopped for lunch. It was a gas station, had a few little shops there, but it had a separate parking lot off to the side of it that was behind some trees and some other thing. And like a lot of the place where you can park for free, it didn't look like much.
Yeah.
Wasn't maintained very well. There was grass growing up all over the place, and garbage and some other stuff. But compared to the other places of gas stations that we stopped at, it was actually pretty quiet.
It was very quiet
because there were trees in between us and the road. Yeah, level.
So it was nice, and it was just off the highway, and we didn't have. There wasn't a lot of highway noise.
No, not a lot of highway noise.
Really well.
Nice grove of olive trees that we could look over. We did have some dogs that came back and forth at night, but they didn't stick around for very long, probably because we didn't have any food out for them or anything like that. So they didn't. They
didn't stay.
They didn't hang around. So at that point we were less than 45 minutes away from the port over to Sicily. And so that's where we're gonna end this video here, and Sicily will be the focus of our next trip. And we don't have a whole lot of expectations about Sicily, so we'll have to see if it's going to be a pleasant surprise or not. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
And in order to see that, you can hit the subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and hit the alert button if you want to make sure that you want to see our next Empty Nest Adventures
TV.